How's it going, everyone? AZ Plow 21 back with more WMMA 5 in our UFC save. And last time out, we were recording, or we were recording, but we were setting up our prelims for all the rest of those fight cards all the way up through July. So as you can see here, we are booked all the way up through July, have all of our prelims and main cards all booked up. So we're going to take a little bit of a break from booking, obviously. We're going to wait until we get to the end of May. So once this Overeem versus Dos Santos fight card is over, then we can book through August. And I'm super excited for that because I don't have to worry about booking. All I have to worry about now is going through the fight cards, checking out the rankings, updating those, and then just, get it. Don't trust him, YouTube. Don't trust him. Okay. Everyone say hi to Cornflakes. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get things started by doing what we always do. As you can see, I've just now started recording. I haven't been, streaming for 2 hours now, guys. This is brand new. Tristan Connolly extends deal. All right, Tristan Connolly. Remember, Tristan Connolly is the guy who took a fight on short notice and won, but he lost to Alvaro Herrera in our last fight card. We ended up giving him another 2 fights to kind of prove himself, but I don't think he's going to bode very well. All right, so no real emails to look at, nothing really to do, so this might end up being a pretty short video. So let's get right into it. Moraes versus Sandhagen. Someone's fighting for the Bantamweight Championship in the near future. It might just be Marlon Moraes, who of course already lost to Henry Cejudo in the past, or it could be Cory Sandhagen, the young man from, I believe, New York, Aurora, Colorado, who is looking to make a little bit of a name for himself, and he definitely would be able to do it should he beat Marlon Moraes in the main event. So let's get right into it, and let's go. In Virginia, not West Virginia, but the proper Virginia. As you can see, a little bit of a pre-show kind of thing there. All the staff, all the experts are picking Sandhagen. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to go ahead and pick Moraes just because he has a little bit more experience. But we'll go ahead and see what happens here. So opening match in the prelims, Janelle Lausa taking on a Jake White Kong Hadley. Very funny name. All right, Hadley undefeated at 5-0 out of England is the favorite. Only 23 years old. I'm going to go ahead and take the young man from Birmingham. And he actually loses via TKO in round 3. It was apparently a great fight, but the Filipino ends up moving to 8-4. All right, shows some respect to Hadley. Next, we have a women's fight. Amanda ABC Cooper taking on Alex Chambers in what I think, is a loser goes home match. And hopefully the loser is Chambers because she's 41 years old, first of all. Not a great record. At least Amanda Bobby Cooper is young. 4-5 wouldn't necessarily be the greatest record in the world anyways, but I hope she wins just because she's young. Pawnee says a draw. Let's see what happens. And wow, Alex Astro Girl Chambers ends up defeating Bobby Cooper by TKO in round 3. So 6-5 is a little bit better of a record. 41 years old. She could just up and retire right here. And she doesn't. She's actually calling out her next fight. She wants Svetlana Gotsick. She says it'll be a tough challenge, but one she's interested in trying. So 41 years old and still going at it. You got to respect it. And everyone wave goodbye to Amanda Bobby Cooper. Everyone literally wave. If you've ever seen the movie Kicking and Screaming, there's that scene where Will Ferrell is saying everyone wave goodbye to the Italians, and then he goes literally wave, and he has his whole football team literally wave goodbye. All right, Alexander Yakovlev taking on Chad the Disciple Laprice. Who is the better bald man? We're going to go ahead and see 25-10-1 taking on 13-4. I'm going to go ahead and take Laprice here. Chad Laprice, that one man on UFC 2. That one man on UFC 2. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Pawnee. But anyways, Chad Laprice gets it done via knockout in round number 2. Right, Laprice praises Yakovlev. Says he's a pretty nice bald guy. Anyways, undefeated at 10-0, Roman Bogatov making his UFC debut against Devontae Smith. And Devontae Smith gets it done in what was apparently an excellent fight. That is awesome. So an excellent fight means it was basically a fight of the year contender. And I'm happy that Devontae Smith was a part of it, making a little bit of a name for himself. I think that's his second win in the UFC, or actually third win in the UFC. So 3-1 in the UFC. Last loss coming to Kama Worthy. My man on career mode wins the title. Oh, Chad. Oh, gotcha. UFC 2. Gotcha. So the undefeated fighter loses his first fight of his career. How far the height rating go? So the thing is, the fight rating, there's no number behind it, which I kind of wish there was. I wish there was a mod or like a little patch where you could do that, like fight rating 99 instead of just excellent. Because when you get to like the fight of the year candidates and stuff like that, they're all just going to say excellent. There's no like number rating behind them. So maybe something that Grey Dog might look to patch into the game, not 100% sure, but that'd be something I'd be interested in just because I would like to see a number rating behind it instead of just good, excellent, poor, that kind of thing. But nonetheless, it was a great fight. The only thing, it was on the prelims, so that kind of sucks. And yeah, like he said, one of his best fights of his career, Devontae Smith, definitely happy with it. I'm happy with it too. All right, next prelim. Battle of the Russians and Nurmagomedov in this fight. Muslim King of Kung Fu Salikov taking on Abubakar. All right. So Nurmagomedov a little bit favored, just a little bit. Only 30 years old compared to 35 for Salikov. No real advantages for either boy, but I'm going to go ahead and take Nurmagomedov even though he's lost before, and he ends up winning via unanimous decision. So just like his brother, able to grind out a unanimous decision. And he gives respect to his opponent. Now 16-3-1. Up next, Tony Gravely taking on Jack Shore. So bantamweight prospect in Jack Shore from Cardiff, Wales. How is he 30? Check his ID. Yeah, he looks about 40 or so. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the young man from Cardiff. Tony Gravely. Let's see what happens here. No fight team, but he actually loses. Wow. So that's tough. Losing his first fight of his career to Tony Gravely. Let's see what Tony Gravely's been up to. So his last fight was a loss to Brett Johns, and then he just up and defeats this amazing prospect. So good bounce back here for Tony Gravely. And he said he wants to fight Brian Boom Kelleher. Now Kelleher does have a fight set up. We set that up in the last video. And now in the last prelim, we have Randy Rude Boy Brown taking Eric Newbreed Koch. And Koch heavily favored here. Randy Brown has beaten Sage Northcutt and has a 4-inch height advantage over Koch. I'd imagine his reach is a little bit better too, and as you can see, he's a boxer. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the upset here. I'm going to say Randy Brown uses his reach, gets in on the boxing, and is able to maybe grind out a unanimous decision. And never mind. I guess Eric Koch wasn't up for that and beats him via TKO in round number 2. Great fight. We love to see it. Respects Randy Brown as we get to the main card, and what a card we have. Our opening fight in the middleweight division, Jack the Joker Hermanson taking on Derek Brunson. A couple of ranked middleweights, a very even fight, 20-5 versus 20-7. 36-year-old Brunson, a little bit more experience under his belt, but I'm going to go ahead and take the younger fighter here, the Norwegian in Jack Hermanson. Let's see what happens. And as a matter of fact, ooh, that sucks. The fight was stopped because of a cut. That sucks. Kind of like the end of the Diaz and Masvidal fight. That's how the fight's going to... Yeah, Jack's losing because he has no fight team. That's a lot. That's probably what it is. And then also Jackson Wink is a really good gym. So Derek Brunson is probably benefiting a lot from that. But yeah, Jack the Joker Hermanson losing via cut. I'm not sure a team really necessarily has anything to do with getting cut and the fight getting stopped, but it was probably going to go that way either way. So Derek Brunson getting a win against a top 15 opponent. Next up, in what could prove to be a pretty important fight, we have former title challenger Caitlin Chukagian taking on Roxanne, the Happy Warrior Modafferi. I'm a fan of Roxanne's, even though she defeated, as you guys know on the channel, my wife, Macy Barber. But we will see if Roxanne is able to get it done here. 5-9. against 5-9 against 5-7. A little bit of a height advantage for Chukagian. Uh, let's say an experience advantage for Modafferi, 24-16 against 13-3. I kind of want Roxanne to win just so she can go ahead and fight Valentina in the near future. But I think that Chukagian's gonna win. And she does. TKO in round number 2. The fight was apparently fantastic. You love to see that. But Chukagian trying to make her way back up the ranks and trying to get another fight in with Valentina. And she says she can't wait. She can't wait to watch the fight back. Alexei Oleinik, the 42-year-old young man with, if my math proves correct, 72 fights in his young career, taking on Marcin Tybura, heavily favored. We'll see if Oleinik can do it again. And he sure can. Submission via rear naked choke with only 10 seconds left to go in round number 3. So getting his 59th win of his career is Oleinik. Let's see if he retires here. And he doesn't. The 42-year-old man, nickname Tybura, real name Tybura. Yeah, I don't get that. Maybe, I don't know. That's pretty funny. But yeah, Tybura. There you go. But yeah, the 59th win of Oleinik's career. Possibly setting up a fight with Alexander Volkov in Russia, maybe. Something that could be interesting. 2 top 10 Russian fighters going at it in their homeland. Could that be something that we do? Maybe. Up next, we have a title eliminator in the bantamweight division. Young Aspen Ladd taking on Irene Aldana. Aspen Ladd always looks like that kid that, stole candy, out of the jar or something like that. She always looks like she's up to something, like she's scheming something. 9-1 is Aspen Ladd against 12-5 in Aldana. I'm going to go ahead and take Aspen Ladd. Even though she's 3 inches shorter, I think she's a little bit better of a boxer and a little bit more well-rounded than Aldana is. Even though Aldana got a really nice knockout over Caitlin Vieira, and I was actually there for that fight, and it was quite the knockout. And then Aspen Ladd defeats Aldana in round number 2 in another great fight, and you love to see that. It's only going to make our company's reputation better, and it's going to be better for both of these young ladies that they're in such a good fight. Aspen Ladd looks like she has seen some things. Yeah, she looks I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to say is Aspen Ladd looks like a certain character that's going to be in The Last of Us 2. But no spoilers, just that's my initial thought. She wants to fight Jermaine Durandamy. That's interesting. I think we already have Jermaine Durandamy set up with something. But she wants to fight GDR, but I think Aspen Ladd is ready to take on Amanda Nunes, as we are here with Kevin Lee taking on Islam Makhachev. The co-main events, the Motown phenom Kevin Lee coming off of his loss against Islam Makhachev. I'm going to go ahead and take Kevin Lee. His wrestling, I think, is about on par with Makhachev, and his stand-up is going to be a little bit better than his. Even though he's training with Khabib, I just think that the wrestling kind of cancels each other out, and the boxing is just going to be a little bit better for Kevin Lee. As it is true. A split decision, though. So maybe something that we end up revisiting somewhere down the line. It was an average fight, so not necessarily the most exciting fight. And that's to be expected, considering these two are are very wrestling-based. So it's probably a very grappling-heavy fight. But Kevin Lee's able to grind out the win via split decision. And he thinks it should have been a unanimous decision. Did you know Ukraine was called the most dangerous country in the world? I did not know that. Sounds about right, though. I'm a big football fan, obviously, and I know Ukraine is like super bad with like football hooliganism. I mean, the UK is too, but it's like people are dying over in like Ukraine and in Brazil and sometimes even in Mexico. Like that shit's terrible as far as like people killing and dying over their, clubs. And we're here now at the main event of the evening. Marlon Moraes taking on CORY Sandhagen in a title eliminator for the UFC Bantamweight Championship. Super excited that I'm here to bring it for you guys. Marlon Moraes, let's take a look at what he has been up to. Of course, beating Jose Aldo in his last fight. And because of that win, apparently he did not do good enough because Jose Aldo was being considered for a title fight. Stupidest thing. Even though it was kind of a controversial decision, I still think it's a bad look booking someone for a title fight after he loses. All right. And then Corey Sandhagen coming off a win over Rafael Assunção. Not the most well-known name in America, but definitely a big name. The fight between the Kinda Smiles. The Kinda Smiles. I'd say that's not a smile at all, Corey Sandhagen. That's definitely he's trying to prove tough. Marlon, look at him. He's cute. You can definitely tell he's trying to put on the charm. All right. But anyways, 5-inch advantage for Corey Sandhagen. That might be why the experts were picking him. Marlon Moraes, a little bit more experience, but Corey Sandhagen definitely one to look out for. Obviously, we're going to do this one in real time. I'm going to say Sandhagen via unanimous decision. And this is to see who's fighting for the bantamweight title, so let's see what's going on. Main event time. Glad I could bring it for you guys, and here we go. And then, as you guys know, I am in sports broadcast, so, I mean, if I could see the fight actually happening in front... Oh, Sandhagen's already cut, literally 30 seconds into the fight. That is not good. But as I was mentioning, I'd love to be able to get the chance to broadcast an actual MMA fight. I think that would be something that I would be okay at. Uh-oh, Sandhagen is stunned. He gets swept. Sandhagen's on top now. Moraes pounds away. Sandhagen covers up well. So Moraes is on top here with a minute left to go. It looks like he's probably winning. So the referee stopped the fight to look at the cut from Sandhagen. So very interesting round number 1, which Marlon Moraes won. He's able to take down Sandhagen, rocked him a couple times. Sandhagen was able to sweep, but Moraes ended up on top. But like I mentioned, I would think I'd be pretty good at calling an MMA fight, and it's definitely a sport that I'm a little bit knowledgeable at. I don't have the experience that I would like. Sandhagen's knocked by that shot. Big strike. And he's forced to jump in and stop the fight. And your winner in the main event by TKO is Marlon Moraes. 2:19 into round number 2. And Marlon Magic Moraes, they don't have his nickname in here, but his Marlon Magic Moraes has a date once again with Henry Cejudo. All right. So we have our number 1 contender, and let's see what Marlon says. And he's just glad that it was a tough fight, gives a little bit of a respect to Corey Sandhagen. And so the thing is, Corey Sandhagen, he loses this fight, but he doesn't necessarily lose a lot from it. He gains a little bit of popularity from being in a main event, and he lost, obviously, which isn't necessarily the best. But now a lot more people are going to be able to know his name. He's a little bit more popular. And he's able to, get himself, set up once again for a title shot should he win a couple more fights. Not liking that attendance figure in Virginia, only drawing 127,000. I'd imagine we offset a little bit more because a lot of these guys aren't necessarily on a lot of money. Kevin Lee might be. Oleinik might be. That's about it as far as people who make a lot of money. Check out the prelims. Eric Koch might be. But other than that, really not anyone that makes like a ton of money. So we're going to see just how much money we lost because we definitely took a loss. The advertisement money from the TV stations isn't necessarily going to be a lot. Try talking to RUF MMA. They run a bunch of non-pro fights. They might be able to get a chance to announce a fight. I definitely would, and I've reached out to them already, but I just haven't gotten an answer back. So, I mean, if I get a little bit of clout doing like this kind of thing, I mean, I have broadcasts already. I'm a freelance professional sports broadcaster. I do high school and collegiate events all the time. It's just MMA, I've never gotten a chance to broadcast just because there's obviously no way I would be able to. The only thing I can imagine for the clout, the only way I can do it is if I get called in to do it, obviously. And the only other thing that I can do is just look over old UFC fights and just broadcast them myself, just to but that's kind of lame, I think. But I mean, that's the only way I can technically get practice in doing it, unless I was just able to go to the live fights and literally come in a suit and tie with my resume and say, you want me to broadcast this show. But I mean, RUF, would you do darts? Would I broadcast darts? That seems super exciting. Hell yeah, I would do darts. I would just need to get a little bit more knowledgeable. I've played darts before. I'm not the best, but I've played darts before. I know the rules of darts. I would just need to know the finer workings and the terminology and things like that, and obviously do my research on the top players. But I know darts is like a big deal, and snooker. I know snooker is a really big deal, or pool if you're American. I know it's a really big deal in England as well. All right, but anyways, we only drew 831 people apparently to this show in Virginia. It got a critical rating of 79 and a commercial rating of 61. And let's see how much money we lost. Popularity unchanged. That's okay. All right. And so let's go ahead and see. So fight of the night was Modafferi and Caitlin Chukagian. That's awesome. And so let's go ahead and we're going to give a performance of the night bonus to Devontae Smith for that win over the undefeated Bogatov. And let's see what else we want to do. Were there any round one finishes? Derek Brunson, Aspen Ladd via submission. Yeah, let's go ahead and give a performance bonus to Aspen Ladd as well. So Chukagian and Modafferi wins fight of the night, and then the performance bonuses go to Aspen Ladd, and then prelim fighter Devontae Smith. Congratulations to them. They win an extra $25,000, I guess. All right, so we are minus $735,000 on this show. Derek Brunson, the highest paid on the show, $209,000. Kevin Lee, $110,000. Corey Sandhagen, $92,000. Devontae Smith, $71,000, but that's including that bonus. All right, so we're going to go ahead and simulate forward to Sunday, check out the rankings, look at our email, see who we want to renew, and then we're going to go ahead and end this simulation. And if you are watching on the stream, we are going to, in fact, go forward to the pay-per-view, and that is where you're going to get my my picks for the pay-per-view. We're rolling right along here. It's so weird I gain money on my free shows and lose money on your pay-per-views. Really? That's weird. The thing is, on the ESPN Plus cards, my main audience is in the USA, and it's to a subscription service. So I'm not going to get advertiser money on that. I'm going to get advertiser money from my other TV stations that I'm broadcasting to, but they're not going to get a lot of viewership. The only cards that are going to get a lot of viewership are the big cards, or like the lesser cards, maybe a little bit more. But you should not be losing money on your pay-per-views. If you are, you're kind of doing something wrong. I'd imagine you're probably not spreading out your fighters that well. So you're probably putting on like a lot of really good fights. Obviously, you're stacking the cards, which is awesome, but you're probably using a lot of highly paid guys. Once again, I do thank you guys for watching, whether you're in the stream or whether you're watching on YouTube. I really do appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and it's only going to get more and more fun once we're more familiar with the save. Once we know more about the fighters and what they've been up to and things like that. I mean, we already know we have a couple of number one contenders, so we know down the line that we have some title fights to book and to look forward to and things of that nature. The only thing that's going to get more exciting is if like injuries happen, or if someone pulls out of a fight, things like that. We can't negotiate with someone gets stolen from us, It's all exciting stuff, and I'm happy to bring it here for you guys. And I think does John Jones have drug problems in this game? I don't know if he has drug problems, but I do know he has legal issues as a thing in this game. I'm not 100% sure, but I haven't edited the mod at all. I talked about editing the mod for like Jorge Masvidal to like increase his popularity, but that's still technically cheating, and I don't necessarily want to do that just because I don't want to mess with the mod at all. Even though Jorge Masvidal should be like low level international at the bare minimum. We can go ahead and check that right now, though. John Jones. I'd be surprised if he doesn't have some kind of little tag on him. But yeah, how about that? Marlon Moraes winning in the main events. He will be fighting for the Bantamweight Championship at some points. Of course, we have Cejudo fighting against Aljamain Sterling right now for the title. In this game save, I should say. As you can see, a lot of things going on, and that's because it's a Saturday, so obviously a lot of promotions have fight cards going on in this game right now. Otherwise, it would probably be, we'll kill someone for a dick pill as a thing in there. I mean, they won't straight up tell us that's what he did, but I mean, it's implied that when, you run into legal trouble, you obviously did something wrong. Whether or not it's actually murder, I mean, that's to be seen. But yeah, John Jones has gotten in his fair share of trouble, and I can't imagine it's over. I mean, he just recently got in trouble. Like, he got arrested for having a firearm on him, like in the middle of quarantine. Like, what are you doing? Like, literally, someone needs to just, like, either his manager or his family members need to, like, just get in his head, because I'm a John Jones fan, and it sucks to be a John Jones fan because he's fucking stupid. Someone needs to just get in his ear at all times and say, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, it's a quarantine. Stay home. Train. Go for a run. But don't go drinking. Don't do the drugs. Don't pop needles in your ass. You don't fucking need it. That's the thing. He doesn't need it. Like, he's so supremely talented. John Jones saying, have you seen Daniel? John Jones saying, have you seen Daniel? What do you mean? As in Daniel Cormier? What about Daniel Cormier? Daniel Cormier is my number 2 boy. So if you're telling me you're hating on both of my guys, that's gonna be tough. All right, guys. So we're here on Sunday, the night or the morning, I should say, after fight night, and Manawa wins title. He looks like he's rocking a mullet there. I think he does it so he has an excuse. He did mention that. So he was talking about that on the Joe Rogan podcast. He literally said the week before a fight, he goes on benders. And the reason he does that is because if he ends up losing, he can tell himself that's why he lost. But it's so stupid. He's so talented, and he's had it ever since 2010. And you could see it ever since 2010, just how special he was of an athlete. And he fucking ruined it. Because now all anyone's ever going to say is, well, how do we not know that he wasn't cheating the entire time? Which is a valid point. But especially with how close these fights are getting. Exactly. So now people are going to be like, oh, well, he was on the juice then when he was winning. But now all of a sudden he's clean, and he's having to grind out decisions against Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes. The Dominic Reyes fight, I was fully expecting the announcement to be that he lost the title. And I was 100% okay with that because it was a great fight. And I thought Dominic Reyes won. I thought he lost that fight. Am I happy he won? No, I'm not. I'm not happy that he won the fight. I think it would have been better for him had he lost. And the reason why is because it would actually get him motivated. Whether it would have either gotten him motivated or he would have just quit and he would have been done with it. You had Jones. See, I was watching the fight from the perspective of a Jones fan who knows what he can do, who knows what he's capable of. So the fact to see him so timid and not shooting at all, I thought he was either injured or he was scared. And I don't think he was scared. So there must have been something wrong with him. Stephan Bonner, when he heard John was on juice, I bet he was fucking pissed. Maybe. I don't know. But the thing is, that was back in the day. We don't even know if he was on the juice back in the day. Testing wasn't as big as it is now, obviously, back then. But I don't think he was juiced back then. He was such a skinny kid back then. I mean, there's no way he was on the juice back then. No way. All right, so enough of me ranting about my favorite fighter. Let's go ahead and take a look at our emails. Alex Chambers has left. Oh, that's right. We didn't renew his contract. Can we renew it again? I mean, we can, but do we even really want to? I'm going to say no. So, congratulations. You want to fight. You're 41 years old. We don't really plan on keeping you. So, you can go ahead and do your own thing elsewhere. Alex Chambers has left. That's fine. So, Alexander Yakovlev. Let's go ahead and evaluate him. Lost to Chad Laprise. He's on a little bit of a losing streak. He's lost 4 out of his last 5. 1 to Kamaru Usman, 1 to Chad Laprise. His only win is against apparently a local talent. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to Alex Yakovlev as well. Everyone put some hand emojis in the chat to wave goodbye to Alexander Yakovlev. We're going to go ahead and end his employment with us right here. All right. So we've deleted. We've gone ahead and released Alexander Yakovlev. Chad Laprise, we're definitely going to be re-signing. Coming off that win over Yakovlev. 2 straight losses, but before that, he's won 4 out of his last 6. Is that an emote of a butt? Butt there? Not exactly sure what that is. But nonetheless, we have Chad Laprise. Let's go ahead and sign him back up. Give him 3 more guaranteed fights. All right. Eric Rowan's ass. Nice. I see you're a man of culture. All right, Derek Brunson. Definitely going to sign him back up. Coming off the win over Hermanson. All righty. 4 additional fights for Derek Brunson. Tony Gravely also coming off of a win. Go ahead and give him 2 more guaranteed fights. Congratulations to Tony. People want Chad Laprise, and Rado Globo is not happy about Moraes versus Sandhagen. They want more star power on the show. And we only have 4 shows remaining with Rado Globo. Yikes. Okay, so they're not happy with us. Don't worry, I found the wave emoji. All right. That should be a thing in the chat. Whenever we release someone, everyone put the wave emoji. All right. Let's go ahead and see if there's anyone worth looking at here. Jurikis Duplessis. So we tried to sign this guy, but it looks like he lost his fight. He did. So now, sorry. Now we're not interested in you. Cuts. Negotiations 9 and 11. No thanks. It's not looking like... Oh, she already signed a contract with someone else, so good for her. She's in deep. She's going to Korea to get some fights in. Good for her. All right, so it's not looking like anyone else is really available that I necessarily want. All right, so let's go ahead and update the rankings now, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at our next fight card, which, of course, is UFC 249. All right, update in 1, 2, 3. All right, so Alexei Oleinik is now number 5 in the heavyweight division, and that sets himself up nicely for a date with Alexander Volkov. Let's see just how long he's out for as far as the suspension. So 48 days. And Alexander Volkov is back in 3 months. Yikes. Okay. So Volkov and Oleinik is the fight that I want to do, but it looks like it's not going to happen for about 3 months, and that's okay. But it can always change if I find something else for Oleinik to do. So that's the plan right now, but we'll see what happens later. All right, light heavyweight, no movement at all. Middleweight, Derek Brunson moves to number 8. Jack Hermanson down to number 10. All right, look at Derek Brunson go. Getting a couple wins under his belt against Heinisch, Theodorou, and Hermanson. It looked really bad for him after he had that bad loss to Adesanya, but I mean, look at it now. I mean, look at how Adesanya is doing. Jacare Souza, he's still in this. Obviously, still a top 10 fighter. Let's see, what could we potentially have next for him? Maybe, maybe the loser. Maybe Darren Till. Maybe Darren Till, if he ends up winning that Souza fight, maybe that could be next for Derek Brunson. Or maybe the loser of the Whitaker Cannonier fight. That could be something else we look into. Romero, who's Romero fighting against? Against Nick Diaz, that's right. All right. So, oh, let's go ahead and check the rest of those rankings. Sorry about that. No movement at welterweights. In the lightweight division, Kevin Lee is now number 6. In the lightweight division, Dan Hooker, Donald Cerrone fall down. Makachev falls down. We have a new ranking member in TJ Grant. Featherweight, no movement. Bantamweight, a lot of movement. Corey Sandhagen falling all the way down to number 11. Marlon Moraes stays at number 2. Of course, he will be fighting for the title at some point. No movement at flyweight. No movement at women's featherweight. Aspen Ladd is, of course, the number 1 contender for the women's bantamweight title. Whether or not Amanda Nunes is actually going to fight her, that remains to be seen. Women's flyweight, Valentina Shevchenko has no real opponent right now. Jojo Calderwood, of course. We're going to have them on that UK card. Women's strawweight, no movements. And that is it. All right, everyone. We have only one viewer in the Twitch stream right now. I'm going to go ahead and sign off right here. As a reminder, the next time that I am streaming, it will be for the UFC 249 pay-per-view in-game. And on that stream and for those videos, I will actually be going over my thoughts and my predictions for UFC 249, which is this Saturday. So thank you guys for joining the stream. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to click on the little bell in the video down below in order to get notified whenever my videos go live and are published. AZPlow21 signing off. Thank you. I will see you guys in the next episode, in the next stream. Have a good night, everybody.